Hey everyone, welcome back to Hatter's Wrath Gaming, coming at you with another War of Nova video today. This is the first video in our series of ship builds, and who other than the Cipher that we start off with. It is the most widely used ship right now in War of Nova, for good reason. It's easily accessible, easy to level up mastery-wise, and easy to use. I'm going to go through a couple different builds today and talk about them from each mastery section and give you some tips and pointers on what you should do to really set this up for success for yourself, and talk about a couple differences between PvP and PvE for it. So without further ado, let's hop into the Cipher tech tree and take a look at it. So as you can see, this is my setup. I'm Mastery 8 with Cipher, and I have it set up for PvP. My very last point that I'm going to put in when I'm level 50 is going to go right here for Big Game Hunter. Basically, this is the meta build, or a variation of the meta build. There's different versions where some people put all their points into these two skills instead of adding some in here, or vice versa. They put all those points that would have been here into these two skills. I like to keep it evened out. I don't like to have to change a lot from battle to battle, and this is still a really powerful build. Now, looking at this, we do want to keep in mind that it is important to put your first skill point into this before putting into this. So you're going to put a point here, then you're going to shift down here, max these two out, and then come back to these two. It is important that this skill hits first so that they can receive that extra 20% damage or whatever level it's at. You just want them to receive the extra damage. Now, looking at this ship from a tier 1 aspect, you're pretty much going to want all your points into these three skills right off the rip to be effective before you hit Mastery 3 with it. You're then going to have points here, and you're going to leave Twin Torpedoes alone. You don't need that one. So your tier 1 build is going to be basically these 5 skills right here. And obviously you're not going to have as many points to put in, but you should be able to get all 3 of these skills pretty full. So our recommendation when we first started out is to get this maxed out, 5 here, 5 here, then start putting points into these ones. Once you get these up to 5, shift back to filling these 2, and then any extra points after that you put down into these. So that keeps it kind of evened out, makes it relevant, keeps it a strong ship even before you reach Mastery 3. The Cipher will open up, though, once you reach Mastery 3. So again, start off with point here, work on maxing these 2 out, come back, work on getting these maxed out, and then any excess points you can put down here. Now, once you unlock this Mastery 3, you're also going to unlock this skill supply drop. This is going to be good early on when you're trying to level this ship up and use it for PvE, because you're going to want that extra recovery. Yes, it's only every 2 rounds, but so are your healing commanders. So this is just going to add extra healing to what you're already getting if you're using a healing commander, which I definitely recommend. The purple healing commanders are much easier to get, so those are the ones that I would definitely recommend everyone have. Once you get to this last mastery, you'll unlock these 3 abilities. Kill shot, don't even care about. Just like Twin Torpedoes, not necessary at all. You want these 2 skills leveled up to do extra damage against any long range and heavy strike craft. The heavy being the main one we're going to look at, because everyone's pretty much using tanks the Cyclops and the Morningstar. So you're going to want to level that up as best you can. I prefer to go for these two. But I'm honestly probably going to shift some points out of this and put some more into here once I finish it out. Just to see what the difference is between my builds. Now, as far as commanders, you really want to look for upgrading your power and your initiative. Now, if you only have purple commanders, that's fine. We really don't need to worry about those gold commanders for this. I mean, this is a very budget-friendly build. And you can honestly put together, like, if you don't have anything great for purples, a blue in one of these two slots. It's not going to change things dramatically. It's not going to be a huge downfall. Definitely recommend trying to get at least these commanders that I'm going to show you, though, so that you can have the most effectiveness from your Cipher. I'm also going to show you a skill in the last support role officer that I highly recommend if you can get a gold of it. Unfortunately, I have a gold, but it doesn't work on all but one Dominion ship. So let's jump into our command officer. I use these two. So I'm going to keep that pulled up. So Calypso is going to give me that power. It's also going to give me my close range health up, which really doesn't matter, but it's a little bit of a boost for the ships that I'm running on this. And first 3 rounds, we're going to have chance to gain confusion immunity. Now, on the right-hand side, we have every 2 rounds against one enemy strike craft, 50% chance to inflict confusion for 1 round. Doesn't really matter which one you use. If you notice that you're coming up against a lot of ships that are causing confusion for you, I'd recommend having that light sensor defense. If you want to inflict confusion and you have a officer like this, but you can level the stars up so it's higher than 50% chance, go for it as well. Either one of those will do well in the purple slot. The only difference right here with stats, C99 is a little bit more universal, can be used with other ships, whereas Calypso you probably only want to use on a power ship. In our combat slot, I'm using Striker. I get the power and the initiative that I'm looking for. And it has a first 4 rounds ship physical damage ignores enemy defense. So the vulnerability sensor skill. Very strong for the Cipher. You can also use, let's see, something like Gannicus with the armor penetration. The armor penetration skill. I personally don't think armor penetration does as much as the ignoring defense. And I'm especially going to use the example of fighting a Morningstar. Because it gets that boosted defense, ignoring it is actually a little bit more effective than decreasing it, just because it's gaining so much defense. But if you're looking for something, I'd look for something like vulnerability sensor, and if you have no other choice, armor penetration. Now I know armor penetration and armor dent are much easier to get skills. So if you have something like Axel, you can use him as well. Just be mindful that some of these officers have bugged modifiers, so some of the ships don't actually get the boost in power as it shows from the officer. I believe it was Axel, might have been a different character, and Bjorn in the engineering slot had bugs like that. So I'm not sure if they've fixed those yet, but moving on to the engineering officer, I bounce between these two, Pythagoras and Sydney, and based off of their skills, you can see why. So if I'm running those close range strike craft, I'm usually running a tank, monostack tank on Cipher. I get that damage reduction right there. And this is great if I'm fighting other power ships. The other thing that I'd like to point out is both these officers, sorry, give a ship initiative boost, and that's again key for the Cipher is to build up that initiative. So Sydney, on the other hand, is great if you're going up against those energy skill based enemies. So Moonveil and other ships, I use that on if I'm going to be facing something that's going to be doing energy damage. Now in the last slot, you can use these two types of healers. So we have one that heals one strike craft and one that heals all every 2 rounds. Depends on what your build is. I am using monostack Morning Stars on my Cipher, so I'm using Elizabeth. But if you are changing things up using, Crushers or some other type of build, you can always use Bradley, and that way it'll heal across the board for your ships. Now, I do want to point out this character down here. So this is the one I was telling you, Julia. Does not affect Cipher, so obviously I'm not going to be able to use that skill, Quick Draw, which I'd love to be able to have on the Cipher. But if you find another gold that works on the Dominion side that has Quick Draw, use it. If you're facing the exact same Cipher, the winner is the Cipher that hits first. So if you have Quick Draw and you're hitting first, you're going to win. It is very key to make sure that your initiative is as high as possible so that you are winning. The Cipher wins by being the first to hit. We also want to make sure it doesn't get confused and hit itself. I've seen a couple times where it's done 150,000 damage to itself. So if we can be first, we can avoid that confusion and we can hit hard. So as you can see here, this is my build. I have a level 49 that I'm bringing into our fights right now. I'm going to do some testing probably later in the season, see if I can tweak some things here and there, see what's happening. But as of right now, I think this is the best way to look at the builds for the Cipher and work it to whatever fits your fancy. So again, I will say, really got to work on that initiative, and it's key to get that gold commander with Quick Draw for the Cipher, because as a blue, it has significantly lower initiative than other purple and gold ships. This has been something that I've addressed to the devs that I think needs to be changed. I don't think that every ship should have such a high disparity in initiative, seeing as that initiative is so important to who wins a fight. If you are always the second ship to go, you are going to lose more often than not. That's just how it boils down, and I'd love to see that changed from the devs moving forward. But that's my ship build for today. I wanted to thank everyone for staying aboard this train and enjoying the videos and getting what you can out of it. And again, I love everyone who reaches out with ideas. I definitely listen to them, and I do have some stuff in the works. Just been very busy with the holiday season here, and getting work done in real life and trying to get these videos set up for y'all. Just keep doing what you're doing, and hopefully you enjoy what I'm putting out there for you and have your own take on it and can use what I'm putting out there to help you. Well, have a good one.